3 years ago, my doctor wasn't talking to me about my future. He was talking to me about how much time I had left. Today, he looked at me and said something I never expected to hear. Okay, here goes. My year 3 medical update. The doctor sat down, looked at me, paused, and said, Mark, I have to be honest with you. I don't know what to do with you. 3 years ago, those words would have terrified me. Today, they're one of the greatest compliments of my life. Because when a stage 4 cancer patient hears those words, it means one thing. You have broken the script everyone expected you to follow. 3 years ago, nothing about my case was confusing. I had stage 4 metastatic cancer. The prognosis was brutal. The conversations weren't about vacations or retirements or what my life might look like in a year. They were about pain management, how much time I had left, and how to make whatever time remained as memorable and comfortable as possible. I remember thinking, will I see Christmas? Will I make it to my birthday? Will my kids remember me? What shape will I be in for my daughter's confirmation? And the question that scared me to my core was, when will I need help breathing? Nobody was trying to figure out whether I would beat cancer. They were preparing me to lose to it. So when a doctor looked at me this year and said, I don't know what to do with you, I understood exactly what he meant. It means I stepped outside those statistics, outside the timelines, outside their expectations, because patients like me aren't supposed to be here. I asked him one simple question. How am I doing? He didn't answer right away. He leaned back, reviewing years of scans, blood work, and appointments. Then he looked at me and said, Mark, you have excellent disease control. Those 4 words carry more weight than most people will ever understand because they mean the cancer isn't growing, it's not spreading, it's not waking up, it's not causing trouble in any part of my body. For someone living with metastatic cancer, that's about as good as it gets. Then he said something else, something I wasn't prepared for. He told me he wasn't even sure I needed CT scans every 6 months anymore. Think about that for a second. For 3 years, my life has been measured in increments: scan, wait, fear, results, live, repeat. And now my scans have been remained so stable for so long they're considering stretching them out even further, giving my body something it hasn't had in years. Space. Space to live, space to breathe, space to be more than a patient and not just survive. That evening, I opened my medical report, and there was one sentence I must have read 10 times, maybe more. I may wonder whether I could assume that the patient might be cured. I just stared at the screen. 3 years ago, nobody used that word. They didn't talk about survival, life expectancy, preparation, never cure. Now, my oncologist wasn't promising it. He wasn't declaring victory, but for the first time, he acknowledged it might be possible. I sat there, not because I suddenly felt safe or because I believed the fight was over. but because for 3 years, every plan, every pain, every breath came with a shadow. What if it comes back? And for the first time, that shadow moved just a little, but enough to feel it. People see me, they see the videos, the smiles, the updates. But what they don't always see is Sandra, my kids. And they don't see how hard I fight every single day just to stay here. Every scan wasn't just my scan. Every appointment wasn't just my appointment. Every time we waited for results, we waited together. Cancer doesn't just affect one person, it happens to an entire family. This news belongs to all of us. I need to clear the air about something. This isn't a declaration of victory. It isn't a guarantee. It isn't no evidence of disease. But right now, it's good enough because social media can sometimes make survival look clean. It isn't. Cancer changes you forever. There's no going back to normal. Cancer leaves a trail behind it. Parts of my body are gone. Other parts will never work the way they used to once did. My skin will never fully ever recover. Some scars people will see, others they'll never. There are things I simply can't do anymore, but I push myself every day to live as normal as I can. Do I wish that was different? Of course. But here's what you need to understand. Every morning, I wake up with a choice. Focus on what cancer took or celebrate everything cancer couldn't take. My life. People look at cancer survivors and think, you should be over this by now. They don't realize surviving cancer and recovering from cancer are two completely different battles. Yes, treatment eventually ends. Recovery doesn't. So, if you're rebuilding your life here today, hear me clearly. You're not behind, you're not weak, and you're not failing. You're carrying a weight most people will never understand. Three years ago, I was told I had no chance of seeing today. Today, my doctors are discussing possibilities they never imagined discussing. That doesn't mean miracles happen for everyone. It doesn't erase reality. It doesn't guarantee tomorrow. But it reminds me of something. Statistics tell you what usually happens. It doesn't tell you what's possible. That a prognosis is not your destiny. And sometimes the most beautiful chapter of your life begins right after everyone believes the story is already over. Yes, cancer has changed my story, but it never got to write my ending. When I first started sharing my cancer journey, I had one purpose. If somewhere someone was sitting in a hospital room terrified hearing the same words I once heard, I wanted them to know they are not alone. I wanted them to have something I desperately needed back then: hope. Not false hope, not guaranteed hope, but possible hope. Because 3 years ago, my future looked impossible. Today, I'm living inside that impossible future. So, wherever you are, whatever battle you're facing, I hope my story reminds you that impossible is sometimes just a chapter. not the ending. I don't know what tomorrow holds. None of us do. But today is a gift, one I never expected to receive. So I'll keep living it one day at a time. And I leave you with possibility.